Well, good afternoon. I want to welcome you to uh, my new channel. My name is Tony, and this is the StickTap Sports Network. And what you're going to see here um, a little bit today, and obviously heading into the future, um, is a variety of actually several replays that I'm doing, focused specifically on baseball and hockey. Um, right now, I have three or four replays that I'm doing. Um, one is a 1980 Los Angeles Dodgers replay using Status Pro, um, and that's on the using Digital Diamond, as you see on the screen here. Um, Also, I am doing a Stratomatic hockey replay of the 92-93 season. And that one, I'm roughly about at the halfway mark of the season. I think we just turned over the calendar to early part of January of 1993. Um, and then the other replay that's been getting my attention is the one that I have on screen here, and this is using Superstar Baseball, uh, and or I think, and forgive me if I get this wrong, but I know that I know Superstar Baseball from my childhood. It was really kind of the gateway to sports sim type of tabletop, card and dice games. I know it's not a real accurate sim. It's really a fictional, not fictional, but well, all this stuff is fictional, right? That we do, um, but it really just focuses on the greats from a variety of franchises, um, and uh, and it's just a fun game to play. And I was searching for a tabletop game to play, but not one to play with actual cards and dice. I really have limited space to set up games, and so I do a lot of my stuff digitally. And I was going to show off what I'm doing here with Superstar Baseball, but I should probably give you a little bit of history on that. This is the Phil Graham version. I know there's another version that's been seen lately on, I want to say it was Sportsman Z. I know Kurt Berglund, I should say, um, also did a kind of a tutorial, showed you an unboxing, and then also the kind of how the game plays. But like I said, this is the Phil Graham version. Um, I downloaded it as a PDF a while back, all the players that he had created. I want to say there was like upward of 3,000 players, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and I've captured some of them, as images, and I play them uh, all on the computer. And as I said, I will show you that in a few minutes here. But a little bit about myself before I jump into that. I As I mentioned, like Superstar Baseball is kind of the gateway to tabletop, baseball gaming for me growing up. Actually, it was probably the Catico All-Star Baseball, the spinner and disc game that got me. I recall having that game in 1977, and you know, trying to replay or or actually pre-play the 1977 World Series. But there just weren't enough players that were part of that from one team. There was an all-star team basically, right? So you couldn't field an entire Yankee team or an entire Dodger team, but I did my best to do so. Um, the I think it was the following year. A cousin of mine had Superstar Baseball, and I had to have that myself. So I remember driving my parents crazy, and they wound up, driving to 20 minutes down the 5 freeway to find it at a shopping mall in Mission Viejo, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so so that was like I said, kind of my gateway. And then after that, I a few years later, I got my first Status Pro baseball set it was the 1980 season, which is kind of the reason why I'm replaying the 1980 Dodger season. It's kind of a nostalgic, for me, it's a look back. It's also the first time that I played Status Pro, and I thought that when I saw Digital Diamond had it as part of their system or their offering, that I went ahead and went out and bought the Digital Diamond game, which is a great game, and it's a great board game companion. I can't say enough about it, and I wound up using it for a variety of things, as you see here, even for Superstar Baseball. Um, the the game that followed Status Pro back in my youth was APBA Baseball. I also had the 1980 season, um, and but I think at that time I was probably, I think I was 13 or 14 years old, and I was really kind of developing other interests. So like a lot of us, we kind of drifted away from it. Um, I I really didn't take up any other baseball sims until really until recently. Um, the time between the recent and let's say the early or mid 80s was really I got into Stratomatic hockey. I've got my first Stratomatic hockey cards and dice set in the the 88, I'm sorry, the 88-89 season, or no, I'm sorry, 89-90 season, and then also the 92-93 season. Um, but still, it was a challenge to get to really play. And what really kind of got me back into it was when I discovered that there was a PC version for Stratomatic Hockey. And so I purchased that in the early 2000s, and I kind of have been um, a loyal customer to that platform. I've seen a lot of really interesting games, on as I've been kind of diving into this on YouTube and exploring what the community has to offer. So, that may change in the future, but for the time being, it's Stratomatic Hockey. Also, other games that I play is, as I said, Superstar Baseball. Um, I play Status Pro Baseball. I've also got Stratomatic Baseball on PC, and I just recently purchased Payoff Pitch, and that'll be cards and dice, which is I'm kind of looking forward to that. So yeah, I thought I would share with you guys a little bit of what I'm doing with Digital Diamond and Superstar Baseball, and as I said, I kind of it kind of was inspired by Baseball Maelstrom as far as how he handles um, playing games digitally. So what I wanted to show you was kind of the setup here that I have. Let me just jump off of switch screens here for a moment. And so this is kind of what I've set up, kind of a helper for myself. And for those of you that are familiar with with Superstar Baseball, you know that you have ratings by position. So I've kind of set it up here. I input the rating of the player for the visiting team and the home team. It then pulls the defensive outs that'll be assigned to the pitching card for the pitcher and fills out the boxes here. Um, also, I've kind of developed my own like leads, getting a lead system for stolen bases, um, and then also kind of set up scenarios for myself for when to use hit and run, when to use a sacrifice. As I think many people have said before, if you've seen people play this game before, there are no, there's just things like ground out and then double play and sacrifice fly and fly out. What I've done is I've kind of randomized it so that depending on what the roll is, you'll get the outcome here as far as where the ball was hit. So in this case, like if I hit this here, you'll see the data changes. So for example, if the ground out was on that roll, it would be ground out at shortstop, and then hit it again, the next ground out, well, not the next one, but the next time is a ground out, whatever that outcome this will display here, as you see here, like ground out to the pitcher. So just a way to randomize and add a little bit of realism to the game. So yeah, why don't we play an inning or two, and let's see what happens here. So and as I said, I'm recording the stats and the playback or play-by-play on Digital Diamond. So if we go to, let me just get it set up here, and so the first batter, and it's Greg Maddox is going to be on my mound here. He's going to be facing Fred Clark. Let me just, I wasn't quite set up the way that I normally would be. So Fred Clark facing Greg Maddox. So the first pitch of the game is taken off of the pitcher die roll. It's 31. Let me let me take a step back. It was 31-31 was the roll. So 31 on Greg Maddox's card would be open. So that means you then go to the batter's card. Greg Maddox is a righty, so you look at the righty column on the batter. It would say double play. Now, of course, there's nobody on base, so we'll consult here, and it's going to be hit to first base. So Felipe Alou takes it to the bag for the first out. Now that'll bring up, and being that I hit that and I hit it erroneously, I'm going to go with this particular roll for the next batter. So pardon me for the mistake there, but Jason Kendall would be the second batter. He's the catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I should have said that this is the Atlanta Braves, all-time Atlanta Braves team against the all-time Pittsburgh Pirates team. Now understand that also these players, we're talking about up until like 2020. So there might be, if there's any greats for the past 3-4 years or persons who would now be considered greats for that particular franchise, you're not going to see them in this. So that next roll was going to be 11, and that would be a D rating or D reading, which is a defense check for the most part, for lack of a better term. So for Greg Maddox, so the Braves have a team defensive rating of 47, and that means that 11 is an automatic ground out. That's how this works in Superstar Baseball. So 11 would be a ground out to short. So that's a ground ball to Dave Bancroft over to Felipe Alou, and that's 2 away. And now the designated hitter, and I play this with designated hitter, Paul Wainer would be the next batter up. And here's the pitch, 13. So it's another D reading for Maddox, and that's going to be a ground out, a little slow, little nubber in front of the plate. And Joe Torre will fire down to Felipe Alou for the third out of the inning, and that'll bring up the Atlanta Braves. So let's bring up our Braves cards here. So Hugh Duffy will be leading it off in left field, followed by Darrell Evans at third base. Rafael Furcal is batting third and the designated hitter spot. Wally Berger in right field. Joe Torre behind the plate is batting fifth. Dale Murphy is batting sixth in center field. Felipe Alou is batting seventh at first base. Dave Bancroft is at short, batting eighth. And Felix Milan is at second base, batting ninth. Now you'll notice that there's players that you would think would be on this team, but I should also point out that I'm like 6 or 7 games into the season. I also am letting Digital Diamond for the most part do transactions, which means quote unquote potential injuries, things like that. So that's why you might not see some of these players like Henry Aaron played the first few games of the season. He's now out. Um, I also should mention that the format, and I'll show you the standings and some of the stats in a bit. We can get to that in a moment. But why don't we just play a little bit more, and then we can talk a little bit about how the league is set up. So, so Ray Kramer is on the mound. He's facing Hugh Duffy, and the pitch from Kramer is going to be 32. That's an open reading, and it's a 1. So that means it's a base hit. So the one thing I haven't automated here is where the ball is being hit to, and that's something that I'll probably wind up doing here pretty soon. But for the time being, Duffy is on first, and that'll bring up Darrell Evans. Now let me see here. Okay, so have kind of an automated steal option here. So we go back to look at Hugh Duffy on first base. So Hugh he's an SP4, so it's a pretty quick runner. So he's kind of a threat on the bases, potentially steal. We got a tie game, so I'm going to say and we're early in the game, that Duffy will be looking to go. So I do have this auto steal set up here. So SB4, and I've got that as an X at the moment. So that means that he's not going to try to get a jump here. So that means that Kramer's now going to pitch to Darrell Evans. And here's the pitch. It's open for Darrell Evans. It's a 25. That's SF. Now that's just a straight fly out. If a runner was on third, they would tag up and score. In this case, we're just talking about a fly ball to right field. Clemente will make the catch, and that'll bring up Rafael Furcal. The pitch to Furcal is 22. That's open for Kramer. 39 is a triple. So Rafael Furcal with the triple knocks in Duffy, and the Braves jump out to a 1-0 lead. Now the Braves so far this season are 2-4. The Pirates are 3-3. So now we got a runner on third, and Wally Berger will step up to bat. The pitch is a fly ball. Actually, it's a pop-up. It's a pop-up on the infield. And that's going to be caught by Dick Stewart. And that'll be the second out of the inning. And now Joe Torre will come to bat. Man on third, 2 out. The pitch to Torre is open on the pitcher's card, and it's a strikeout. So Torre goes down swinging, and that ends the first inning with the score: the Atlanta Braves 1 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 0. So Maddox will trot back out on the mound. He will be facing Andrew McCutchen, who's playing center field. Dick Stewart is batting fifth, and Hannes Wagner at shortstop. So here's the pitch to Andrew McCutchen, and it's going to be open on Maddox's card. 26 is a home run. So Andrew McCutchen, with his first home run of the season, just his second RBI, and he ties the game here in Atlanta in the top of the second inning. So he goes yard on Greg Maddux, and we got a 1-1 tie. So now Dick Stewart will be coming to bat. He's batting .250 on the season. He's got a home run and 5 RBIs. The pitch from Maddux is 24 is open. 34 is strike three call, or strike. I'm going to say when he's on the batter card, it's struck out swinging. So Stewart goes down swinging. With my indecision, he was holding up and got called out by the first base umpire. Said he went around. So now that brings up Hannes Wagner. Wagner, kind of struggling at the start of the season. He's batting .231, no home runs, 1 RBI. And here's the pitch. 31, open, 37, and that's a base hit. So Wagner is on. Oops, I made a mistake there. That was off of Stewart's card. And on Wagner's card, it's a base hit too, so 1+. That would mean runner, if there was a runner on second, the runner would score. That's what the plus would be. 1A is, regardless of where the batter is, if they're on first or second, they're going to advance 2 bases. 1+ would be only 1 base if a runner was on first. So that brings up Clemente. Now Wagner's a 5, so he's a threat to go, and this roll is automatic, so it's already been rolled. If we look, 5X, he's not going, so he couldn't get the lead, and so Clemente now with 1 out and a man on first will take his cuts. Maddox deals. The pitch is a double, 2+. Now what this means is it's a double, and the runner on first will score. So Wagner scores on the double, and the Pirates now have taken a 2-1 lead here in the second inning. Kind of hitting Maddox pretty hard here. Now that's going to bring up the third baseman, Pie Trainer. Runner on second, Clemente. Let's see. Clemente is not going to be looking to go. So here's the pitch, 26, and Maddox strikes out Trainer. Got him looking. So that's going to be the second out, and that'll bring up Bill Mazeroski. Maddox on the season has a 0-1 record with a 4.66 ERA. This is only his second start though, so we're not deep into the season here. So now Mazeroski up to bat. Mazeroski is batting .214 with no home runs and no RBI. And the pitch is 18, 25 is G+. So it's going to be a slow roller in front of the plate. And Torrey will fire to first to elude to end the inning. So we've played 1.5. Let's finish go through the second, the bottom of the second, and then what I'll do is we can take a look at some of the standings. I can tell you what the format is, how I have this sort of project set up. Del Murphy, so it's going to be Murphy, Alou, and Bancroft to face Kramer here, or Kramer in the bottom of the second. So the pitch is open. 23 is a base hit, so Murphy is on first. And that's going to bring up Alou. And let's check to see if Murphy's gonna try and steal second here. Is he on the go? No, he's not. So here's the pitch to Felipe Alou. It's 24, it's 33. Okay, so that's going to be a ground ball. So G. Now what that means is automatically the runner is forced at second. So the ground ball is hit to short. Wagner flips it to Mazeroski for the force at second. So there's 1 out, and Alou is at first on the fielder's choice. Now that brings up Dave Bancroft. And no, Alou's not going to try to go. So the pitch from Kramer to Bancroft. Bancroft 11. Normally that's going to be like, something good, but in this case it's not. So once again, a force at second. So a ground ball to second. This time it's Mazeroski who flips it to Honus Wagner for the force, and that's 2 outs. And that brings up Felix Milan. The pitch is open on Kramer's card, 16, and once again, a ground ball to second. They'll get the force at short, and that's going to end the second inning. So let's bring the digital diamond interface up. So let's see here. Let me save this because this is going to be a regular season game here. So just pulled up take a look at some of the statistics that have been collected so far for the season, but also want to explain kind of what the format is. Taking an idea from the English Premier League soccer, I thought it might be fun to create a 20-team division or league, let's say, of the all-time baseball franchises. Up until, and what I did was the cutoff was going to be the expansion in '69. So what I did was I have the original 16 teams that you would expect to see, or as far as the original 16 teams, but then the 4 additional expansion teams are the Mets, the Astros, the Rangers, and the Angels. And then of course you have the rest of your 8 pre-1962 American League and National League teams. So at the moment we haven't played the entire seventh day of the season, but what we have right now, and like I said, how this is working is I've made a schedule where each team plays each other twice. So you play a 38-game season, and after so you play like first half and a second half. So you'll play each team once in the first half and again in the second half. It's either going to be home in the first half or away, and vice versa in the second. So it's an even schedule as far as strength, as far as teams you're playing. So it's a balanced schedule, I should say. So what I'm going to do, the plan here is that the top 4 teams will make it to a playoff, and they will play like a 1-4 seeding against 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. I haven't decided if it's going to be a best of 5, for that first round, and then 4 out of 7 for the final. But more on that to come. And then my idea is to also have a relegation zone. So if you finish in the bottom 4, you're going to be sent down to a second division. And the second division will consist of the 10 teams that aren't playing in this series. So basically all the expansion teams from 1969 till present day can make up that bottom 10. But I'm also going to build 10 other teams from the remaining players, and trust me, there's a ton of players if you're not familiar with the Phil Graham version of Superstar Baseball. A lot of players, including some Negro League players, and so yeah, that's how, or that's what's going to happen once this season's over. have a championship, playoff, and then we'll also do relegation, and then promote the top four teams from that other division. That has not started yet. It's still being built out. But once it's started, I'll definitely share that with the community. Um, so just a few of the leaders. You can see how Digital Diamond does a great job of, you know, showing you who the leading players are in different categories. Um, average home runs, RBI. You can see that the Angels have been kind of a powerhouse, and if you go up here, you see that they're in first place, uh, or they're half a game right now behind the Cincinnati Reds. And so yeah, this is kind of it's laid out like this, so you can see your batting leaders, your pitching leaders. It's early in the season, so there's a lot still to be a lot more story to to unfold here. Um, so yeah, so this is kind of what's going on here with Superstar Baseball. I think the next that I do, or the next video I do, will probably be looking at the 92-93 season for that replay that I'm doing with Stratomatic Hockey, or possibly the Status Pro replay of the LA Dodgers replay in using Status Pro in Digital Diamond. Um, but yeah, I wanted to say, if you made it through this entire thing, thank you for sticking around. Um, if you like it, please. If you want to subscribe, please do subscribe. There's going to be more content coming your way. Um, and also, if you have any questions, feel free, please do ask them put them in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer them. As far as how I'm playing this, this season here, and whatever questions you might have, I'm happy to engage and answer them for you. So. Let me hang on one second. I'm going to pull up the next slate of games here. So give me one moment. So yeah, so this is the the current day of the Superstar Baseball league here that I've got going. Um, we're playing this game right now, or I was playing this game right now, the Braves and the Pirates. The last game of the um, of the day is going to be the Yankees at the Rangers. And so yeah, I just wanted to kind of share this with you. You can see kind of how, if you're not familiar with Digital Diamond, um, how some things look and present themselves. I will, are, I will be showing more of this as we move forward. Um, but once again, if you have any questions, if you want to see a particular team, if you want to know statistics, you want to know how a certain player is playing, whatever it is, let me know and I'll be happy to share it with you. So until next time, I thank you and thank you for sticking around, and I hope to talk to you soon. Take care. Have a great day. Bye.